I'm always give praise to the creator. Shout out to Jubilee. I only date white men. Do black men and black women think the same? What is wrong with me? But yeah,
I've seen so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type. They
that's
feel
facts.
protected.
Talk to me.
I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I
Black people can either be the funniest or most serious ever.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me tell you something.
Black men and black women. I feel like we're so disconnected for no reason. Like as a community, I genuinely think that. Cause look, the first question is I prefer to date outside my race.
Prefer to date outside my race.
I don't even know how to answer that. What's good, sourdough bread? Prefer to date outside? I don't prefer.
Realistically, I would definitely want to marry a black man. I know that we've experienced a lot of trauma in our community, and I think that trauma stems back from our colonizers, which have put us against each other.
How you been? I've been good, bro.
It's
Appreciate you for asking.
difficult for us to come together and be healthy.
Her hair is amazing, by the way.
Relationship, if that makes sense.
For me personally, growing up mixed, just because I did grow up more so with my mom on the white side of my family, just when it came to dating experiences with black men, if anything, they would always tell me, oh, you're really white, or just
That's
really
real.
racial comments about how I'm mixed that makes me uncomfortable. Like at the end of the day, I'm black.
I have legitimate mixed friends, like light skin, not even light skin, but like white mom, black dad, like literal mixed. But I never in my life considered him mixed. Like I always assumed he was just light skin. Like when I see a light skin, I assume they're black. Like I know of course you have some white in you, but I just assume they're always black. I just call it black people.
I understand that I grew up predominantly on the white side of my family, but people don't see me on the street and think that's a white woman. Like
Right. They're gonna look at you as a black woman.
Yeah, I'm a black woman.
And you're gonna go through the experiences that a black woman go through.
Yes, versus always bringing up that I have a white mama or I act a certain way because I grew up white. It's just, I'm me. I grew up how I grew up.
Bro, Stefan, bro, my
and so
dread's
if I
fine,
am gonna
bro.
be in a relationship with a black man, I would like him to just not bring that up. But in my experience, that's been a constant conversation topic.
Can the disagreeer step forward now?
I feel like if you prefer to date a specific race, you've already lost. I don't prefer to date outside of my race, but I also don't prefer to date a specific race in general. Like, I don't prefer to date my race as a whole versus, like, you know what I'm saying? I just date whoever is in my vicinity. Whoever I connect with is who I date. It has nothing to do with the skin color. I feel like people box themselves in by doing that.
My mom, she was adopted by a white family man. She's also half white.
Yep.
And my parents were divorced after a while, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and we did things that were
That's
white.
facts, Stefan.
Like I was in Boy Scouts, and we camped, and we did all these different things that just weren't quote unquote black. I was reminded that I talked like a white boy all the time, and you know, those sort of things. They can add strain. Is that me saying I wouldn't date a black girl? Of course not. Like you know, of course I try to. I date anybody, but I just think in practice, you know, for whatever reason, circumstantially, it doesn't always happen all the time.
I grew up in a very white area as well, but I found that when I started dating, even though it was only white girls surrounding me, they didn't understand my identity. So I was just gonna ask, like, did you, or have you found that even though you were in those white situations, did you feel understood by the white women you were dating? Or misunderstood?
Define understood, I guess. I mean, I don't.
I feel like that's so fire though. Like
maybe like
dating outside your race allows you to. I've never personally. I have dated outside my race, but I've never like long term dated. I've never like dated like someone of like Caucasian descent or nothing like that, right? But I feel like if that was the case, it would be cool to be able to show each other different things about your culture versus like look at it as a disconnect. Like, oh, you don't understand me. You have to look at it from the sense of like I get to teach you a way of a viewpoint that you've never thought of before. You get what I'm saying? Like people always look at the negative of stuff. Not understanding somebody is just a misinterpretation of not being able to like. You just teach them everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a better way of appreciation for understanding differences and still being cool. Yeah, I seen Corey return.
politically or identity-wise that they might be like, I don't really understand that.
I think it's hard for other races to completely understand.
Would you tap Gorlock the short 50 mil? But nah, bro.
Being black and
Yeah.
that experience? That's not to say that they can't be empathetic and sympathetic and understand and listen to you and learn things. But fundamentally, I just think a black woman is going to have a different perspective.
So I'm from St. Louis. I'm not from California. I'm not from LA. So I'm from a predominantly black area. And so growing up, there was only one white person in my class. And so I've only been exposed to our community. And to both of you all's points, my mom is black, my dad is black, my family is predominantly black. So I've been around the black man my entire life. I have so much respect for the black man to where hearing a prompt say, I prefer to date outside
Bro,
my race,
nah, bro.
kind of makes me think now, because I've never been exposed truly to the opposite end in such a depth way, to where I can look at another man from a different race and say, I wouldn't want to date you over a black man when I have had solely my experiences with them, good and bad. So whether I had that bad experience, it doesn't make me say, okay, I don't think I want to date black men anymore. I want to go and date a white man. They're going to treat me better. I feel like as a man, you all should be treated as a species in itself. And
But here's the thing too. I'm gonna really break this down. You gotta really hear me though, bro. People get into this, oh, dating this. The race has nothing to do with it. Like, you shouldn't date you should get in a relationship with the intent of staying in it. So many people are comfortable dating multiple people. That's the problem to begin with. For dudes and girls, as I'm not saying it's specific of the gender or whatever, but like, if you get in a relationship, be serious about it. Don't just date people just to date people. Like, date people to stay together. That's the whole point in dating, is to make a relationship with somebody. So people that date for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, break up, like, nah, bro, like, and then people that date and be in bad relationships. If someone's bad to you before y'all start dating, they're most likely gonna be bad to you when you start dating. I get some people do flip a switch, but to a degree, you have to be able to see the signs, right? So it's like, only date a person that's good for you in general. And finding a good person has nothing to do with the skin color at all. Not gonna lie, generation is absolutely fried. The dating game, nah, literally. There's no coming back from it. But like, dating is not that hard if the sense of like, just date a person. Like, wait to find that one for you versus just, oh, this black person didn't treat me right, let me go to this white person. Oh, this white person didn't treat me, let me go to this Mexican, let me go to this Asian, just find the one person who's going to treat you right, and it doesn't matter what their color is.
all have very intense ways of thinking, and
I
I
can go
feel
both ways.
yeah.
His hair is
True,
tough.
true. So
Not gonna lie.
I don't think that it has too much to do with race in itself. We have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or black women, since we're talking to black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a black man should be?
Sure. I have to say sure, but I think it honestly just depends. I think this will totally get off topic if you really want me to dive into
I would, dude, I'd love to go
Truthfully,
on something like
because
this.
I know that as a black woman, you can see there's black men who are excelling. There's black men who treat their women right. There's black men who honor and respect black women. And then you have black men who, although you all didn't step forward, would say, I don't want a black woman. I watched my mom struggle. I don't like black hair. I don't like black women's attitude. I don't like how they speak. I don't like how they don't respect men. I don't like the fact that they are not subservient enough for me. Yeah. So I do believe that we're on the totem pole. We want.
Is that a problem?
She's spitting though. I ain't gonna lie, cause that's kind of how it is. Like, in the same sense of black women wanting hood men and not wanting the corny, book smart scholar black dude, is the same way I don't want a black ratchet woman. I want a black classy woman. So it's the same concept for real if you really think about it. Like, no bias. Me being completely unbiased, it's the same thing. I wouldn't go for a hot Cheeto girl. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't. But like a classy, elegant black woman who holds herself, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Of course, that's attractive.
Which one? I said why.
The black man that doesn't like any of the things that you just mentioned.
It's not a problem. I think it's a preference thing. I think that we've been dating the wrong people. You
agree.
see that this woman is very loud and strong-willed. You know that you don't like that. Don't
Right.
date her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I
She
come
cooking.
from a similar background with you two. I grew up in Memphis,
No glaze, his hair is
grew up
tough.
in Chicago, and most women down there, you know, and most women in the South generally are masculine,
Really?
a little too rough,
Masculine.
a little too rough on the guy, you know.
In the South? In the South?
Can you
like, it's-
explain like just masculine?
Masculine.
Like I just want to know like
Like-
specifically kind of what you mean.
Like instead of saying like nice hi, they're like what's up? What's up my guy?
okay. Okay.
It just seemed a little more. It makes sense because it's a little more dangerous. So it's like their defense, you know, based on the prompt. Like I disagree because I don't date based off race. I date based off who I attract, and I generally attract women outside of black women because of my characteristics, the way I live.
I prefer black women. I attract a lot of black women, but I'm open to dating all types of women. I have even in the past. But when I do date black women, I definitely date a specific type of black
Facts.
woman.
Oh, bro.
Not the
Sorry, bro.
the representation that we have on the East Coast. That statue. Are you guys familiar with that by any chance? I find
I
it.
was in New York.
Yeah, is it in New York?
I think so. In
Yeah.
Times Square of the
Yeah.
black lady.
I don't date. I mean, everyone knows that black woman. I find it that they can be very. It's almost like they try to be the man in the relationship, and there can only be one man in the relationship. And you know, when it comes to relationships, the man is always going to take the path of least resistance. And so, yeah, I usually date black women, but it wouldn't be that particular kind.
When you say that particular kind, because that was just a statue, can you go?
Well, but
in-
it's a representation, right? It's a
But-
even.
It was just like we have an image here, and this is the image, and you look at it. You don't know this woman. You've never had a conversation with this woman. You don't
See,
know
I would
who
say that I
she
do
is.
know that woman.
From the looks.
That's fair.
of her.
But everyone
I
does
would
that to
say that I
everybody,
know.
bro.
So are we-
Like, if you walking down the street, hoodie and mask on, 9 times out of 10, people ain't gonna really feel you. And I get that's a super extreme example, but I mean that's just how it is. We judge people before we talk to them.
We saying
Probably doesn't
because
take
let's
care
go
of
into it.
herself.
Are we saying because she's a
Health-wise.
dark-skinned, heavy-set black woman? Is that what you guys getting at? Because that's we only have a visualization of who
Yeah,
she
that's
is.
the representation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't date that particular kind of woman. And,
Gotcha.
Stereotypes
and then when you
come into
start
play.
talking about weight and stuff in the black community, it can
Yeah.
be really sensitive for the women, but that does play into attraction.
That needs to be a conversation that we need to have, though.
We always have it, and they don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Like Lizzo, body positivity.
Right.
I mean, she's
Try,
losing
you know,
weight.
try telling a black woman about her
Accountability is what I noticed.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Accountability, major accountability.
Yeah.
You said you date people.
Her hair's
who
tough too,
attract-
though. I ain't
think
gonna
that's
lie.
really
I love her
important
afro.
that you said that.
I love that.
Because at the end of the day, like we can talk about who our preferences are, whatever. You can only date who wants to date you.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Facts.
day, which is why I asked the question about superimposing what you think a black man should be onto a black person. I feel like a lot of the qualities I bring to the table, other races seem to appreciate and value a little bit more.
What qualities
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, what quality?
Okay, so I've heard a bunch of times growing up, like, oh, like I want like a thug, for instance, and I understand like that's
That's major in the South.
stereotypical.
That's major in
It is major, even in California now.
That's
I mean,
major,
like
yeah, here it is.
it's like I guess I kind of understand what some of the appeal of that might be, I suppose. But at the same time, like if we're trying to like build a healthy community, why are we prioritizing that?
That bores
For
a lot.
some
Of,
people.
that bores a lot of women in the black community.
But that's my
when
point.
you start
like,
talking
yeah.
about positive things and stuff like that, they want somebody that's going to be destructive generally.
I disagree.
Generally.
I don't disagree at all.
I
I've seen
disagree.
so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. So much so
You
to the
gotta
point
have
to
a
where-
gun.
Yeah,
I think
they-
I think it is like that. I ain't gonna lie, but I think that's slowly starting to fade a little bit because dating now is just like we said earlier, is just genuinely cooked. So I don't think it matters anymore what anyone does to anything because everything is just destroyed. But up until a point when people were dating serious, that was the stereotype. Like I mentioned earlier, girls want the thug, dudes want the classy. So it's like you gotta find who you know what I mean.
Like the emotional highs and lows is like sex in and of itself to her. I've seen women like this where I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are
So-
thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And
Majority.
I have to majority.
Majority.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let
My
me
bad,
let
my
me
bad.
let me tell you something. It is not thugs. There is no line that says I am a thug. There are white men, black men, Puerto Rican men, I'm sorry, Hispanic, and in general, there's no percentage that says only thugs are giving the most STDs out. I'll tell you one thing, black women, heterosexual black women are the most high at risk for HIV right now, and it's not just from black men. It's from all men. That's why I want us to really dive deep into that. And then you're speaking of a community saying they only want thugs. I think education plays
Mostly.
a major role in that, because if you're an educated woman, I'm an educated black woman from the trenches. Have you all heard that term? The
We
trenches.
wouldn't be talking to you then.
I-
You
no, no,
wouldn't
no, no.
be the archetype.
No, no,
but there
of
is
course.
a large majority of black women.
Like,
that
where are
want-
the studies
Yes.
coming from?
Where are the studies coming
Yeah.
from? The numbers. The CDC, who,
Like specific
Local-
city, state?
national.
I hate arguing numbers, bro. Like, that's so
National.
lame to me. Like, let's keep it a stack. Numbers matter, but at the end of the day, everyone's life is not directed to a number statistically, right? Like, I could talk to this person, this, and STDs, whatever, like, might not be affected. Like, it's numbers don't really affect everyone. It just helps a generalization, but generalizations never matter if your life is not the general life. So I don't really care about numbers because I'm selfish. I know I'm talking about me specifically. I'm not worried about what happened to Bill down the street. I could care less about what happened to Bill. So, like, his numbers are different than mine, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Can I just say something? I think we also need to look at what you said earlier, our environment. Why are we being quote unquote hostile? Why do we have these masculine futures? It's because we're put into these situations where we have to be a certain way or evoke certain characteristics. And although, like, certain things are portrayed online heavily, you know, like, oh, black women want to be like Sexy Red, black women want to be sexualized. So kind of something that we should all look at is taking assumptions out of the window, because there are a lot of assumptions being brought up. So, like, who are you talking to right now? You're not talking to a heavy representation. Obviously, you're speaking with people who are heavily educated right now. So kind of consider that and notice that, you know, you're not always going to find a black woman that is ghetto. You could also find a very smart black woman.
Mhm.
You know, you're not always going to find a smart white girl. You could find a very ghetto white girl.
Mhm.
And stereotypes are very important in conversations like this because we need to throw them out the window.
Black men are intimidated by successful black women.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's good that you're being real with yourself, though.
Sometimes-
That's important.
Whoa, wait. Okay.
Intimidation
I
is
will
crazy.
say, like, sometimes, I'm not gonna say all black men are, but I know I've heard from plenty of my friends and plenty of older women that I know. who are kinda
62% said
successful.
yes.
Like, yeah, it's really hard to date because men will be like, oh, you make more money than me or something.
You guys like to say that we shouldn't compare, as women, we shouldn't compare ourselves to men because we'll never be the same as you guys. But you guys do that with us. Compare yourselves to us. Like, I don't make as much as her, or I don't have all the degrees that she has.
I don't.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The money, I can get that because if I go band for band my girl and she money spread on me and I lose, I'm gonna feel some type of way. But the whole degree thing, I could care less about it, bro. I could genuinely care less about a degree. If I'm getting to the bag and you got a degree and I don't care at all. I could genuinely care less about what your degree says. Genuinely. I could genuinely care less what a sheet of paper that you got from another person that printed it. I could care less. Now, if your bag is better than mine, I ain't gonna lie, I might hurt the soul a little bit, but I could live with it. As long as you don't try to little boy me, we can live off that. But this whole degree thing, I genuinely could care less. I genuinely. Like, do you think the CEO of a company who didn't go to college cares what his employees who have multiple bachelors and doctors think? Guarantee you he does not care.
I don't know if it's the same kind of comparison we're talking about, right? So I think a lot of the time when people are saying women shouldn't compare themselves to men, is women shouldn't try to be men versus men comparing themselves to women. It's more like, am I fulfilling that traditional masculine role that's kind of expected? Now, we can have the conversation as to whether or not that's still apt for our time or not, whether that's still relevant. I would say it is, just because it seems like people seem to appreciate, at least from my perspective, women seem to appreciate men who make more than them still.
Intimidation is a form of insecurity. So that stems from lack of
Not really.
communication and not dating someone on your level. Not you specifically. But, you know, if the person isn't dating someone on their level, there needs to be that communication, because obviously that person is with you for other reasons.
But there's no level in dating. This confused me. Like, out of your level, what are you talking about? Like, this isn't a video game where you're level 10 boss and I'm level 4. Like, what do we, like, if you like me, I like you, we get together, we make a family. It's that simple. Like, all this other outside stuff has nothing to do with anything. I think that's all just propaganda thinking, where, like, the man has to make more, the woman has to make more, whatever. The ego behind it, the man stays at home, woman cooks, whatever. Like none of that matters. If I like you, like me, we make it work. That's the only thing that really matters at the end of the day. And you can do that with anybody, if any race, of any color, of anything, of any whatever the case is. Just make it work. It's that simple. We overthinking it for no reason. Like all these talks about this. Does it work or does it not work? Like there's some people out there who have the craziest jump shots ever, but it goes in. You think it cares how it looks? As long as it's going in, that's all that matters, for real. Let's keep it a stack.
The broad statement that it's all black men, because it's not. It's specifically black men that, for whatever reason, in their own life, they're
You're making
not
another
happy
edit?
with
Appreciate you, bro.
where they are at. They have some sort of insecurity. Maybe it's career insecurity.
Can you do another waiting screen, but like, can you make it all lowercase, like for this one, like, and add the I to it, or like whatever you do? I'm not gonna judge, but I appreciate you.
Financial insecurity. So if they're with that archetypal strong black woman, in my experience, instead of being like, oh, like that's awesome, you have a degree in this, you got this job, you did this, they're like, okay, big mama, you got money, big mama. I'm like, what the hell? Or like, I've even had experiences where
That's just jokes though.
Like basically slut shaming me, talking down to me because I got a better job or I lost weight and people started noticing that. So now I was a whore. But in my experience, if I've been with a black man who, he is successful, he has a job that he likes, he's pursuing his hobbies, he has X, Y, and Z, comments like that are never made because he's not
supporting you.
Yeah, he's not internalizing your success as his failure.
Yeah.
Met that across all men. They just feel intimidated when you are successful. And in my experience too, I do tend to be more of a dominant black woman, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally okay, but it does scare some men.
Does it make you feel like you shouldn't lead with, because I used to be the
It's
type
not
of
even
person
about
who would
scare,
lead,
it's just
all
like-
my accomplishments or my businesses, I would lead with that thinking that, oh, he might like me even more because this is what I do, or, you know? So now it's just like, I don't like to share anything when I'm dating. Like, I don't do anything, I just sit at home.
What I've had to learn is, because I used to diminish myself a lot,
Yeah.
when at the end of the day, I want something that's real. I want
Yeah.
someone who's gonna love me for me and all that encompasses that. So I'm gonna be unapologetically 100% me. I'm loud, I talk my shit, I speak my mind, and if you don't like that, then you're not for me.
But I think that
That's
this
valid.
specific prompt goes back to the
But then you
original
can't
prompt.
complain when no one wants to be for you though. That's the only thing. Like you can't say that and then when no one actually approaches you, you get upset. You can't do that.
Men who prefer to date women outside of their race, I believe that it's not really a race thing, it's a class thing. And I honestly believe that if I'm a black woman and you already view me as a stereotypical black woman, loud, disrespectful, I don't respect black men, if you view me as that way, on top of me being successful. See, I don't have to be more successful than you. Sometimes men, specifically black men, believe that you don't need to have so much confidence in yourself. I feel like you are competing with me.
Yes.
My
What?
success does not revolve around your success. We should want to be successful together, which leads back to that specific
I agree with
detail
that.
about creating a healthy relationship, a healthy black successful relationship.
So you lost
I
me.
believe that black men view women who are very confident. I'm very confident in myself. I don't
This
disrespect
black stuff
you.
is
I
killing me.
respect you so much, but I respect myself more. And I think that men have a hard time toting that line of keeping my masculinity and upraising your femininity.
I think there's definitely some validity in that. I think
That's a good
however
word.
people decide to arrange like their marriage and their relationships, I think it's totally up to them. Like whatever roles you choose, that's up to you. If that works, it's healthy, you should do that. I wanted to unpack the on your level thing that you said. So what does that mean, on your level?
Whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, anything, or all of the above. Someone who you feel you resonate well with, no insecurities. I feel like, I don't know, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I guess for the purpose of this conversation, I want y'all's opinions on this. Do you think black women generally would date or marry a man who wasn't financially or had no prospects of being financially, socioeconomically on their level?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See it every day.
Literally.
Every single day.
I wonder why the perception isn't that then. Like I wonder where that comes from then. Like the majority, and I'm sure maybe someone will agree with me when they walk over here. Because necessarily you're not going. I mean, black women are most educated right now. Like necessarily you are not going to probably find a black man who is on your level. Like it's just the numbers are not there. So a lot of black men might feel like, okay,
Come on, bro. No way.
must be settling because.
Bro, you gotta stand on that, bro. There's no way he walking over.
If it weren't somebody else.
You know, I think that's actually really interesting that you mentioned that because it's something that is socially imposed. And I think a lot of men, not just black men, but men in general, seek social validation from their peers. And so when other men look at each other, they're like, okay, well, what are you doing for work? Are you making more money than me? You know, obviously they're more competitive with each other, and then obviously that brings competitiveness within the relationship, which is something that shouldn't be the case, but it is in a lot of situations.
The only reason I
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm competitive in anything. It don't even. It has nothing to do with the relationship though. That's just me as a person. Like if I see somebody doing something better than me, and I know I can be better at it, it's gonna push me to be better. That's not to say that it's bad. Like if I'm in a relationship and my significant other makes more money, I'm gonna want to make more money too. Not because I'm competing with her, but just because I hold myself to a standard, right? I know it's possible. She's doing it, I can do it too. It's a standard. That's not to say I'm mad at her for making more than me, or if she's in better shape than I am, I'm gonna hit the gym more too. Cause like I'm trying to be like it's iron sharpens iron. Competition helps breed excellence. I don't know why people think competing is bad. Like it's not like a bad thing to do that. Like especially in a relationship, it's not competition. It's just holding yourself to a higher standard because your significant other's pushing you harder. Like that's all it is. That's not a bad thing. Like it's not like a matter. Oh, she makes some money. Gotta make money there. Like nah, I'm just she's making money. All right, let me work them out. Let me get some bread too. Like let me match her. Let me try to up her. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Not in a sense of like it's bad. Like I can respect her making more money. It's just I just want to do better. That's really all it is, honestly.
with the prompt is just because I agree with everything you guys are saying, but personally, because my mum, who's black, she was always very successful, so I never like felt intimidated by success. But I agree with what you were saying, that I think that in my experience, if you aren't perceived to be on the financial level of a woman, then she'll just look past you straight away. I'm a musician, so like we know that we're not going to be financially successful until it hits. So
that's real.
I'm always more like, see my potential. But I think there are a lot of people who don't acknowledge potential. They're just like, you need money now, and that's all I'm going for.
That's
real.
See potential.
She admitted.
I'm 26.
Appreciate the honesty.
So much potential that honestly, when I first see you and you are not economically secure, I'm not looking at you. I don't have intentions on being the breadwinner. But that, being a breadwinner and being successful are two different things to me.
Wow.
Can we have the disagree a step forward?
That's not really gold digging either.
So I
I
strongly
feel
disagree.
like gold digging is like, because people gonna hear that and be like, oh, she's a gold digger. Nah, she's just not dumb. Like, why date? Like, I mean, girls are supposed to get taken care of. That's what people say. I mean, that doesn't really matter no more. But okay, I don't know. I don't want to contradict myself, but it's like I want to do that for my significant other, take care of her anyway. So like, I'm not going to date until I'm in a position to where I can do that, unless it's a girl that I feel like I can't pass up on. If I'm not where I want to be able to take care of you, but I feel like you're too good to pass up on, I'm gonna date you I'm gonna date you knowing I don't have what I need to be with you, or have what I feel comfortable to be with you, because I don't want to lose you in the end. Versus like, she said she's not willing to wait for something to be built. So if you know this dude doesn't have no bread, but he has a potential to make crazy bread, she's not willing to wait. That in itself is like, I can't blame her, because I know I shouldn't date this girl because I don't have my stuff together, but I'm going to still do it, me personally, just because I don't want to lose that. She's okay with letting a man that could potentially in the future be good for her walk away. She's cool with that, which is her choice.
No man is intimidated by any woman because
That's
of
facts.
her
Talk to me, Bryson.
credentials. That's not the case. It's usually the character and traits that come with that. They usually have
he talking.
extremely high egos, and you can't tell them anything. And they usually come off extremely masculine. Like what you said you can be masculine, and it might be too much for men. It's an attraction thing. Men are not attracted to masculine traits in women. That's what it is.
I don't think that's necessarily true because someone who, for example, I've known men who were intimidated and jealous because I had a college degree and they did not. It's not just the trait that came
piece of
with
paper.
that. It
I
was
don't.
I have a diploma.
Sorry.
They did not. It's not just my quote unquote masculine
Right.
traits that was a turnoff.
I would say that might be unique to him, but generally, it's the traits that come with it. It's not the degree, it's the traits. This idea of dating down and dating on your level stems from women. When men have money, they don't view it as dating down when they're with their women. You guys say that, not men. If a man has money and he's taking care of a woman, there's no point that he thinks he's dating down. He's just taking care of his woman.
I think
talking.
it's dangerous for a woman to
He
date
talking.
down because we see it all the time. Men,
You guys all said that you would, though. You guys all said that you would date someone that made less than you, and then you said that you
No.
didn't.
I didn't
I never-
respond
I-
because
We
I'm
agree
not.
that there are
Didn't you
women.
say that?
I never.
I thought they said, then they
I
all
never
switched.
sworn one of
We
y'all-
didn't
I
see
thought
that.
that's what y'all
said.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't see potential. I
Potential.
don't see
Yeah.
Potential
I
not guaranteed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate economic security. That's all I want. If
Oh, we
you are
know that,
secure as
yeah.
a
But
man,
what if you're in a field where like you're still studying, or it's something that you know that the payoff isn't immediate?
I wouldn't view that as potential though. I mean, okay, you can, but honestly, if someone says, I'm going to school for psychology, you graduate, if you want to become a psychologist, I know that you have to go and get a master's degree. 9 times out of 10, you have to go and get a doctorate degree to become a big breadwinner, okay? I know that eventually you're leaving from that field of study and you are in the works of going and becoming economically secure. See, that's not potential to me. You are a musician, yes? And so you make money.
Yeah.
If you take on one extra person and they lose their job, do you think that you'll be able to carry you all's household?
Soon.
Soon. Okay, so myself listening to you, as I stated, if I talk to you as a friend, because that's how dating starts, I'm listening to you, and if you have enough charisma, I'll look at you and I'll say, okay, this is a man who I think will eventually become economically secure for us. See, I want to date someone who is economically secure for himself first. So that's what I'm thinking about
I'll be
potential.
honest, I don't believe any of this.
You don't
I think
believe
it
any
just
of
comes
this?
straight to just superficial stuff.
Superficial.
I mean, we live in a superficial society. Women only want the men with money.
yeah, as they should.
Well, thank you.
But isn't,
Let's
feel
just
that's
cut
so
the
funny.
BS.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a stack though.
About-
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm not gonna lie, the whole streaming stuff, being successful or that one, the family, that's because I want to take care of my family. Like I said earlier, that's what I want. But in the event that I said I'd still get a girl, even though I can't take care of her yet, I'd still get one. If I feel like she's a girl for me and I can't pass up on her, I'd still talk to her, even though I know I'm not supposed to yet. But if she truly didn't care about anything or being in a big house, whatever this, I honest to goodness can honestly say now, and she's really, really cold and she's the one for me and I'm for her and we're locked in and I know for a fact we're locked in, I can honestly say I wouldn't mind being like paycheck to paycheck, 9 to 5, regular house, kids, go out on the weekends. Like, I wouldn't mind that. I don't have to have this crazy life of financial freedom, this, whatever. I don't have to have that if I have a solid family, because that at the end of the day, that's what matters the most is the family. What's the point in becoming so rich and wealthy and you have no one to share it with? I feel like that's the worst, low-key, that's the worst way to live, honestly. Is having everything but nothing at the same time.
Money.
Yeah, it is. That should be the number
Yeah.
one thing. When you're dating, that should be the first thing that
Why?
you.
Materialism
One of the
should be
things.
the number one
It's
thing.
not. It's not just materialism. It's
Yeah,
that
but it is materialism.
as
There's
a
so many
woman,
assholes with
It is
money.
as a woman, we
That's
need
what
to
I'm saying.
know.
It's not just about money,
I
but I
think
do
it is.
agree
It
it's
is
not.
just
Or
about
consider
money.
it not. It's not.
There's just a lot of
Money
BS.
should be the number one thing one of the top things that a woman should look at when she's dating.
It is the main
Look,
topic.
Are
It
you
is.
saying
It should be.
Are you saying one of or the most important?
The most important, yes.
I partially disagree because I think there are, kind of like we mentioned earlier, there are preferences. If you find someone that is interested in a certain characteristic that you have, perfect, great for you. And so we have these assumptions that, oh, all women are superficial. That is not the case. Absolutely.
Most.
Majority.
Okay, well,
Yes,
that is.
they are.
That's what the numbers
Maybe
I don't
what
care
you
about words, I care about actions. The actions say that women are superficial.
Maybe what you encountered, that may possibly be
I
the
think
case.
there will be a lot of men that will agree
However,
with me.
can you let me finish?
Yes.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Historically, if we look at the role of a man and we look at the role of a woman, that is what is proposed societally. to us. And maybe it comes down to security. That is a very,
Yes.
very important thing
Yes.
within a relationship, within a community, within a society. Security is important. At the end of the day, you need money to put food on the table. Whether you're by yourself, whether you're in a relationship, whether you
Right.
have kids, right? Is that a concern?
My thing is, if you're dating someone strictly for money, I don't want to hear you getting angry about him sleeping around or him doing whatever.
The
If
men
you
with
married
no
him-
money do the
Cheat.
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a species topic we're talking about. That's a
Men with no money
then we
have less
say-
options.
I hate hearing
Hey,
that.
one more time.
That genuinely bothers me to every core membrane in my molecular body, whatever you want to, bro. It genuinely bothers me because as a faithful man, bro, and I know I will never cheat because that's, bro, I feel like cheating is worse to me than it is my partner because I have to live with that. Like, that's a shot to my morals. I hate hearing all men cheat, no men are faithful, this. Because it's so annoying, bro. Like, as a faithful person, when you hear that, it's like, dang, bro. That's like, it's just what's the word? It's low-key I don't know. It makes you feel some type of way. It's like, what am I being faithful for if I'm still going to be classified as a cheater? You know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling.
But what I'm saying is,
But
like,
do the men with no money really have the option
What is it,
to
man?
sleep around with a lot of women?
Yes.
Yes. We
They
see it all the
do,
time.
because it's a lot of women who have less money than the no money. And if you are a man who has no money, but you're with a woman who has money, you have money, because that's how women are.
That also goes back into
That's how everyone should be,
domination.
though.
You guys saying that's a bad man if he doesn't have X, Y, Z. Then you also need to look at why does a man need to be emasculated for not being where he wants to be.
And if you're a wealthy man and you want other women, get into a polygamous relationship. You do not have to cheat.
But it's kind of like
Nah, I don't do that
consistent
one, I ain't gonna
a lot
lie.
of times that men
Don't do that
the
one.
The top 10% that most women want are generally like that and have options, and they're not going to settle for just one woman.
So why portray as if you want one woman?
That's
I
dang
don't
near
think
cap
they
too, though.
Portray- Who said
I
they
don't think
portray
do.
as they want one
It's
woman?
not a secret.
Most men go to that level just so they can get the amount of women.
It's a complete double standard, but I think it is.
They
the
dang near
reality
tweaking,
that
though.
I think men want the idea of
Nah.
this woman is only having sex with me
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because men.
Territorial.
Yeah,
Dominant.
exactly. Yeah, again, this is a double standard.
Or it's just dating. Bro, what are we talking about? Is it not common sense that you and me are in a relationship, we don't talk to nobody else? Like, for the guy, too. Like, if you have bread, don't have bread, it doesn't matter. Like, you're in it. A relationship is supposed to be a relationship. Is this not common? I'm genuinely confused. Like, dead. Like, I'm dead for real.
Not excusing this, but you know, the amount of men who are obsessed with a woman being a virgin, but also wanting them to be this like sexual dominatrix as well.
I don't really
Complete
care about that.
idiocy,
You
but,
can't be
yeah,
crazy,
I
though.
think,
Let's keep this stat.
Unfortunately, men would rather know that their women are only sleeping with them, but then they
Preferably
are happy
under
to
10.
give it out wherever.
I disagree. I think men just want. Obviously, they want their women to. They want their women to only be sexual with them, not with other men. And I don't think that's stupid or idiotic in any way.
Well, I just think it's a double standard because if we expect ourselves to be able to put it out anywhere,
Huh? But what?
then
What's
I
he
don't
talking about?
think it would be
mean,
fair.
He
there's a
losing
It
me.
reason
depends on
why-
the person. Depends the guy. The kind of guy you're talking about.
There's a reason why
Same
women
about
can
women.
get pregnant by one man every 9 months, but a man can get multiple women pregnant.
Oh,
Losing
of
me.
course, yeah. Evolution-wise, yeah, we want to throw it everywhere we can, but I think for modern relationships, that doesn't necessarily work.
I just wonder, do most women want to sleep with multiple people the way most men want to sleep with multiple people?
Huh?
I think
Now
They
why do you-
losing me.
Why do
yes.
you? Why do
I
you
would say
feel-
yes.
I ain't gonna lie, they
They
losing
do
me,
it.
I
bro.
just think that men, a lot of guys intrinsically, when they have more options, they want to exercise them versus
Nah.
I think a lot of women, a lot of time, when they're committed to one person, would rather just be with that one person.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
haven't
they
seen you in
lost
months.
me on that. I ain't gonna
Someone
lie.
crashed into my car and I couldn't move on.
There's a reason.
They
Just
lost
Wealth
me.
Insurance to win your case. www.forthepeople.com/jubilee found in the description below to start your free claim today.
Thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this.
All right, bro.
OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating.
Yeah, of course. I think everyone should walk forward on that one.
I would say that.
But I'm gonna keep it a stack though. I'm biased because here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. Remember when we had watched Two Girls, One Bro? Chill, bro. I never even. Come on, that's a crazy message. I feel like with the whole modern dating thing though, it's like I'm not gonna lie. If I had to marry you just to sleep with you and talk to you, like for real, like I wouldn't be talking to anybody at all. The fact that you can kind of do it and still not be serious makes it less stressful with picking a partner, because you cannot be serious and just, you know what I'm saying? But like if I can't get close to you or touch you or kiss you or do nothing with you until we're like married, that's when I feel like that's how like you find the one, because now that I know it's all or nothing, I'm gonna take my time picking. That's crazy, Avid.
It's really completely destroyed dating relationships.
But that did ruin
it's
it.
really sad, but it has definitely watered down a lot of things too. I'm seeing that, you know, women are they're waiting to turn 18 and then hopping on OnlyFans, that's really just a reflection of how the culture is. I think it shows a really bad reflection on how the culture is, and it's really sad in my personal opinion. I think it's disgusting.
My last long-term relationship, which is also why I've been single as long as I have been, he was subscribing to OnlyFans girls. Because
that's
porn is
crazy.
one
That's
thing.
cheating, low key.
Porn is
That's
one
actually
thing.
cheating.
It's like, I see it as it's a scenario.
No, that's
based,
cheating. That's
it's
cheating.
General. You're not looking up a specific girl versus you're following
That's
a
cheating.
specific girl while you're in a relationship as well.
She tripping. I'm gonna break it down. This cheating 100%. I'll tell you exactly why. If you're in a relationship, you're watching any type of video, or you're subscribed, or you're doing this, you're on IG looking at other girls, you're lusting over another person. It might be digitally, but you're still lustfully seeking out other women. That's in fact cheating, because the intent behind it is sexual. So I feel like in a relationship, a lot of people get in relationships and they withhold and don't be sleeping with each other and be mad at each other, this and that. I feel like in a relationship, y'all should work with each other and y'all needs. Like, if you make a bondage together, and it's not about just sleeping, but how can you be dating somebody and then tell them they can't sleep with someone else and then turn around and withhold from them? That's low-key messed up. I feel like you should just help them with, everyone should help each other with, in a relationship, they should help each other with their feelings and urges and all that, and we can just move forward from it. But anything outside of that other person is 100% cheating, I feel like. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. You should just help your partner instead of having to, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's common sense. We're in a relationship. Why are we withholding anyways? If I like you like me, we should want to be together type.
Paying for it.
That's crazy,
logging
though.
into her live cams, like this, it's like,
Nah, he
that's a
tweaking.
whole thing. And it's not counted as cheating in a lot of men's eyes because you're not physically touching anybody. But you might as well be. It's a fantasy. Unfortunately, one of the first things I do when I go on a first date, I am gonna look at who you're following, because on Instagram, it's public.
Go
if
ahead.
I see a guy is following all these like big booty Latina, ass, we got a problem, shut it down.
You're not supposed to have this much access to these sexual women in general. In a relationship, it's really hard when you have so much access, easy access to link and meet up with the people who do OnlyFans, who are on Instagram showing ass. And I do want to kind of side with men on this. I don't have a problem with men liking other women's pictures and following women on Instagram solely. I'm in a relationship. Finding that common ground is important, but I just feel like, no, I'm not going to make you unfollow all these women from social media, because you have to be strong whether you see them in person or you see them on the streets.
Do you guys think you could date someone who has
Never.
as well? Do you think you could date someone who has OnlyFans and like is successful?
No.
What do they do?
Depends.
I don't know. Okay, let's start off with they just post pictures. They don't have sex with anyone.
What kind of picture?
Naked pictures.
No.
What about feet pictures?
Okay.
Nah.
That's cool.
If you're posting some foot pictures, whatever, man, go get it.
If,
He
you know,
tweaking.
talking about
Oh, bro, he tweaking. Sorry, bro.
OnlyFans from the subscriber perspective, I always wonder, what if you met someone who you're like, she's really cool, great personality, very attractive, but her job is OnlyFans.
You'd be setting yourself
Then it's dead.
Why do you think so?
There's such things as non-negotiables in relationships. I'm not gonna lie. You can be the perfect person to have a non-negotiable. I go off an 80-20% rule. If you have 80% of everything I'm looking for, I can live with that 20% that you just don't have. And if that 20% really bothers me, but you do have the 80%, I can live with that. But then there's non-negotiables that just you can't negotiate with. Like, you can have 100% in a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. It cancels out, so it's like, I can't do it. And I feel like a lot of people, everyone varies. Like, for some people, partying is a non-negotiable, smoking, whatever, drugs. Obviously, like, the serious stuff, like, we don't have to talk about, but it's like, there's certain non-negotiables, bro. I'm not gonna lie, and for me, that's one of mine.
Her character. You don't think she's gonna not cheat on you?
I don't know.
I don't think
$1
it's
million
being on-
subscriber.
I don't
Husband,
It's a major red flag.
I got you a Rolls Royce.
Major red flag.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, if you're an OnlyFans creator, that you would cheat. It depends. It's all circumstantial, and it's like it depends. If
will
she's
cheat.
sleeping with other people, I'm still talking. If she's sleeping,
See,
with
I'm
other
saying I don't like
people,
that.
I mean, yeah, then she's sleeping with other people on camera. But most of the OnlyFans creators that I've heard about, all their content is
That's a
by
turn off
themselves.
for me right
so
there.
I don't think it. Again, I don't think it directly means being an OnlyFans creator would mean you're gonna cheat.
In the sense of someone who's posting pictures, she may not have just had someone in her life to tell her like, hey, you should want to keep that for yourself.
Would she
and
listen?
who
Would she listen to that?
will she listen? I mean, I grew up hearing that. I'm not on OnlyFans. And we're speaking about me, but I'm just saying in general, some women who are in the sex culture, who are in pornography, there's the disconnect between self and
I know a
sexuality.
lot of women in that culture.
Do you think that feminism played a role in any of this?
I mean, the liberation of like
What are we talking
free
about?
choice, do what you
Yes.
want.
Get
you
back
shouldn't
at
face
men.
repercussion. I mean, I wouldn't say get back at men per se, but I think it's.
But that's
something
dangerous to
extreme.
say. That's what feminism
not
is
about
about,
men.
and where it stems
Pretty much
from.
is today. It's pretty much they just want to be able to do whatever they want and have no consequences to their actions.
I think that's an umbrella.
Yeah, I feel like you cite a lot of things too that don't really have backing as well, and you make a lot of broad statements.
They're true though.
I think feminism maybe played a part in it, but
See,
I don't
bro,
think it's.
It's
the
an unwinning
reason
battle. I don't
why
care about
women
none
are
of that.
OnlyFans.
That's why I say my reality is the only one that truly matters. Anyone watching this video, everyone in life is gonna have a different reality, and it's easy to say like this is general. Bro, generality doesn't matter if you're talking about you. I care about me so much that I don't care about anything outside of me. So whatever happens for me is all that matters. So that whole like generalization stuff, if I can find one that has this way and this is, I don't care, bro. Like feminists ruin because this is, I don't care, bro. If I can just find my girl, I'm happy.
I think it plays a big role.
No, it does. It does. I mean,
Women
this.
wanting independence, OnlyFans being the
Yeah, and
easy
it-
way
No,
out.
no, I agree. It's this whole idea that
10K
like
a month?
again, sexual revolution, capitalism. It's the fastest way to make money. Basically, prostitution is the
Right.
oldest profession. I think
Yeah, I was just
when-
about to solely because you brought up prostitution, but before now, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. If you did not have a husband or a man taking care of you, what were you left with? I don't think that it's because of feminism.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful with how we're speaking about that term. Although I know that there's a lot of controversial things about feminism, but I don't believe that OnlyFans is a result of feminism.
Yeah, I wasn't saying as a result. I
Definitely
was saying
stems
like it
from
plays
it,
a
I think.
majority.
Yeah, it
of
definitely
But if
stems from a big
prostitution
role.
is the oldest job in the world, then it predates,
It predates feminism.
So I would say, to your point, it is because social media has become such a way to earn money quickly that then prostitution has just
a logical-
evolved.
I would say that's
logical
all of that.
conclusion.
I would say
Yeah.
it's a combination of all of that, not just one or the other, but both.
Prostitution, I think before it was still kind of taboo. I don't know if OnlyFans is as taboo as like a traditional prostitute. When COVID started, I think like the amount of girls I knew who were just regular girls, like, oh, join my OnlyFans.
Hard times may leave you on the street.
Teachers.
She tripping.
Yeah, survive. Honestly, it's just honestly, it was very dangerous to be a prostitute during COVID, and so all right, we're gonna try to do something that's.
Wait, so to get out of survival mode, shouldn't we be finding ways to get together so there's two incomes and not one?
But you just said you wouldn't want to be with a woman that.
So maybe,
Is in survival
so
mode like
maybe like don't join OnlyFans, but find someone to
Lower,
like,
lower your standards, like
find someone
They're
to
not
get
going
with.
to lower their standards.
like
They shouldn't have to though.
You don't have to. No, you don't.
I mean,
I
I
wasn't
don't.
talking about standards. I was just saying like perceptions, reality.
Standards.
And then when you see a bunch of people that just kind of see,
Dang, so it really does come back to money. Cause what other standard? If a dude is nice, whatever, like, what other standard can you be being judged off of? If it's not money, which no one has, by the way, we're all broke. I don't know if no one's realizing that, but
just a girl down the street starting an OnlyFans, and it probably doesn't go anywhere. But now, like, you've made this life decision, and now everyone saw that. Just makes you wonder where we are as a society.
Everything now is just oversharing.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
this
That's social
culture. So I think again, it's just like a natural like, people share every single sexual story. People
Yeah.
share every single, like, whatever thing. So I think people are like, well, I'll just share my body because that's the same as a story.
But do you guys feel like men play a role in women getting online and showing
Of
their
course.
body off?
Yeah, there's a market
Yes.
for it.
100%.
We play a role in what you do with your bodies?
Yeah.
We should take accountability of the fact that there are lonely men that are creating a market for this. Like, we can't complain about something that exists if there is a market for it. That said, though, I don't think we should take accountability for the fact that the men are lonely.
I have
Why
felt
is
more
it?
judged by black people than any other race.
Nah, no, I ain't gonna lie, no. I don't know. Not for
I can say
real.
I felt more judged by black people because I grew up inner city, then I moved from the inner city to the suburbs. And so when I would come around like my black family or black friends from the inner city, they would be like, oh, you talk white, or
Facts,
oh,
I
you
got-
act white, or if I say I want to go swimming today, oh, black people don't go swimming. You know, they would like make comments that would just make me feel like super like, damn, like judged.
I experienced that a lot when I first moved to Memphis from Chicago at 5. Throughout all my life, I was always the different kid. In school, they would say you talk white. And
Check
it still
Discord.
continues. Like,
I'm gonna check it on my
people see
phone
me-
because I'm
my
reacting
friends
this right
back
now.
home in Memphis, they see me surfing and stuff. They see me doing things that you don't usually see black people doing, and they say you trying to be white when really I'm just trying to explore life.
Right, because I'm like, what does it even mean to be like, oh, you talk white? Or
Speaking like a normal, articulate person.
exactly.
I think it comes from the stereotype that black people are uneducated. So when you sound articulate, you sound educated.
I don't see nothing on there, Stephen.
Because I get that all the time. I went to a white private school, half of middle school, high school, all of college. It sucked to be in predominantly white communities where even the black people were saying the same thing as the white people to you.
It takes a real toll on you
Yeah.
because when people were telling me that, like
Oh,
saying
okay, I
you
see
talk
it now.
white, I would try to change the way I talk and try to fit in. And I was speaking ghetto, that Memphis accent. You hear me? You're like I was speaking.
That's
I
hard,
would
but the
try to-
end's
that's not
capital.
how
You gotta make the
you
other
talk.
end
And
lowercase. like the first
luckily,
one.
I got rid of it and went back to the speaking.
That's
who
hard
you
though.
are.
It really was.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's like crabs in a barrel mentality.
Def-
And it's kind of like, okay, what can we relate over? And that is the struggle within the black community. There's certain like experiences in which we find commonality or common ground. And when we see someone with a more established upbringing, like you guys were mentioning, like if someone goes to private school, I went to private schools, you know, or it's you're whitewashed. Why do we associate success or being knowledgeable or speaking a certain way with being white?
To hold ourselves accountable within the black community would be to stop.
I said this before. I think it's just the accent, like the snozzy noise, like accent type noise. Cause like I use big words when I talk, but no one ever says, "Oh, you sound white," cause the words I use is mostly just about the tone of voice and all that. I think, and the delivery. It's kind of like when you speak a different language, you have the accent to it. Some people can like you've heard people who like Asian people use English, and they're talking in English, and you know exactly what they're saying, but they still sound Asian. And then there's people who are Asian and they sound American. It's more just like the accent, I think, than like the words being said. Oops.
Judging each other on our level of quote unquote blackness, because that is where I do think the issue is stemming from. And I think within our community, if we're saying, telling me, oh, you're an Oreo, because like really? No, I'm educated. We need to stop talking down to each other because we have those qualities. It's not a bad thing to be articulate.
I think that's the majority, and we're the minority, sadly. It's
I
like we
think
gotta
about
leave them
that.
on the plantation. honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Can we have the disagree step forward?
I would say that is an issue within the black community where they try to say you're not black because you sound a certain way. I think that's ridiculous. Like, we're black because we're black, right? But yeah, like I tune a lot of that stuff out. It's just if I can't use it to do something that will better my life,
He's
it does
realist,
not
bro.
matter
That's
to me.
real.
And I
I
think
don't
because of that, I disconnect from a lot of black women and some black people because I don't like being a victim.
He's
I
talking.
cannot be a victim. I'm like, what is the issue? Let's work on the issue. Yeah, it might be a little harder, but that's fine. You know, there's no growth without opposition, so it's like,
He
let's
talking.
just go.
Let me ask you all.
Nah, he talking.
Are people still telling you all? You
He
talk
talking.
white. Is that an experience that
Yeah.
you're all
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Wow. I have the ability to code switch.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I never went to an interview and be like, yeah, I'm gonna lose this one because I'm black, bro. Like, not going there like, yeah, I don't care who I'm going on. I'm finna win this joint. I don't care if I got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? I ain't no victim. If I lose, I lose. I always expect to win. Ooh, I'm lucky finna make this like, bro, I always expect to. I'm gonna talk about that later after. Let me write that down in my notes. But yeah, I got a message, bro.
I can definitely, you know, like it's a switch for me. So I haven't had anyone say, oh, you talking white. You know, it's more so like,
What's good, Zen?
you going somewhere. I've heard that my whole life from our community. I hate to use the word code switching because I know slang, but that's our language within the community. But outside of that, I am a very intelligent individual, so I know that I need to speak and not use Ebonics so that you'll be able to understand me. And I think that in itself outlines the fact that I feel more judged by those outside of my culture, outside of our race, than inside.
Walking around in society, I'm automatically judged by people who are not black because I'm black, and they have an expectation if I'm not dressed properly, if I don't carry myself a certain way. And I understand that. To your point, like, I refuse to be a victim, so I'm going to, like, okay, whatever it is, like, I'm going to present myself the best way possible so that I know I might be judged a little bit walking through the door, but at least I'm giving myself an opportunity. But yeah, I think black people, we might give each other crap for, like, being different, but at least I feel like we always have each other, most of the time, we have each other's back, I think, as black
I don't
people.
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
I-
think so.
That's a
Especially not a
major-
black man with a black woman.
You don't think so?
No.
I agree. I agree there because I think that when black people at school said that I talked white, and especially with a British accent, it's even more like white. It was always more, like you said, it was kind of just like, we're in the community together. I feel like when the white people would say stuff, it was like the true attack. The girl, to an oversharing in this modern world, the girl that I lost my virginity to, white girl, and a few weeks after, she was asking my friend about me, and she was like, does he consider himself white or black? And then my friend was like, he's black. And she's like, oh, that's a shame because I'd only date a white guy, but at least I can tick a black guy off my list.
That's hard.
And that's like my first ever like real sexual experience. When it was the black women in dating saying you talk white, you're too middle class, whatever it is, then that was just like, okay, yep, just we are different parts of the same community. When white women and other partners who would be like, you're not meeting my dad because he would never let me date a black guy, that felt like way more cutting.
In a sense, it's a fetish. And we have to be careful about that because as a black woman, you're a black man, I'm around black men. You're not a fetish for me because you are a part of my community. And so I disagree with for myself, my experiences, the black community has fully
The hair look,
but
why
I
is
think
no,
when you expand outside of your, right in your face community, you'll realize that there are a lot of black women that are just rooting for black women because they're black. I mean, we can think about the
Yeah, I
election
can
in
definitely
itself.
say environment because when I lived in Atlanta, it was nothing but like black support, black love, everybody's helping each other. You don't see too many black men with white women there.
I carry my parents' relationship patterns.
So I just had a baby, he's 4 months, and I have a partner, we're in a relationship. But I do tell him often that my mom and my dad never married, and so marriage is not my top priority. Although I want to be married,
Tripping.
it's not the end all be all. I think that some people are.
yeah, I agree, actually.
Seen their parents married.
I look at marriage like this though. Marriage is like, I can be married to you without having to sign nothing saying we're legally married. I feel like it's more just like happy home, happy family. I don't really care about nothing else. Cause like at the end of the day, marriage it all sounds good on paper, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really do nothing for you. It doesn't change the dynamic. Same way if like you're adopted, that's still your parent at the end of the day. They raise you. Nothing changes besides the DNA. So it's like, it just comes down to your thought process on it. Like if we're together, we together. We could date for 30 years and never get married and be married. Like I don't see the difference.
Like I have to be married. I don't feel that way. And I do believe in healthy co-parenting. My parents were healthy co-parents. You would have thought they were brother and sister. So I do believe that if our relationship ends, I would be okay. I am open to being a co-parent?
So I'm in
we're not
the
doing that,
middle
though.
with this one actually.
You women,
but
you
I was
stuck.
leaning more
It's facts.
towards
We're not
agree
doing that
with
split
the
family, bro.
statement. I definitely learned unhealthy relationship habits from my parents, and they're actually the model. Hi, mom and dad. The model of a relationship that I am trying to avoid, and they're the reason why I know, like, your partner is sorry. After seeing how my parents' relationship was, I learned your partner is the number one choice, life-altering choice you could make in your life.
Absolutely.
With my family dynamic, it's just a little unique because the dad I call dad is my stepdad, because
Yeah.
my biological father is incarcerated. He's also Black. So my stepdad I call dad has been in my life since I was 1. But so with that, I would
Dang.
say my father being Black, my mom being white. Now that I'm an adult, I can see there was a power dynamic in their relationship. And like
So
I
she's not
mentioned, I
actually light-skinned. Her dad is just in jail.
did grow up on the white side of my
I mean,
family.
mixed.
I didn't know until I started dating how differently I had grown up from other kids. I talked back to my parents because that's what they do to me.
Call them
Tripping.
names.
Yes. So when I got my first boyfriend, he was like, "What in the hell
What
are you
the
doing?" And I genuinely did not know until I got into my first relationship, like, whoa, that's not healthy. You can't just be screaming at your partner all the time. That's not normal. And I thought that was normal because
Yeah.
that's what I grew up around.
I think mine is pretty much exactly that, unlearning, because yeah, my parents, their relationship was at a very loud volume, and it was a lot of aggression, passive aggression. Like I got to see them like fall out of love to lead to their divorce, and my dad had my brother and sister from his first marriage, so like I think. Talking about inheriting patterns, I
Appreciate you,
always
Stephen.
like expected that I would have biological kids, step kids, adopted kids. I always have expected that every single relationship will at some point die and just you will never speak to that person again.
That's low-key.
So yeah, I think I've been just inherited all of those patterns, like you, trying to unlearn them.
Bro, I can't stand pessimistic people, bro. For those who don't know what that means, like people who always see the negative. Who gets in a relationship expecting it to end? I feel like you shouldn't get in a relationship in general if you don't think it's gonna be long. I've only had one serious. Even then, like, bro, just dating in general is like you should really lock in on there's like dating one person. I don't see the point in dating multiple people. This is this like. It's okay to be single and take your time finding the one. You don't have to jump into anything and just be dating people just to date people. Like, take your time, make sure this is the actual one. Ask questions in the beginning. Like, you're supposed to. Do people not screen each other no more? Like, I'm asking questions. I'm asking this. I'm asking that. I'm seeing how I feel about you before we get serious. That way, when we do get serious, I know something's not gonna just hit me out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do your ask the serious stuff in the beginning. So it doesn't catch you later when feelings is you already attached to this person. Now you gotta live with the fact that you don't like this and this. Like, nah, like ask that up front so you can know if it's a deal breaker or not.
Now, but yeah, that was like my whole childhood.
We might be half brother and sister. Don't go on Ancestry DNA.
I don't remember all the circumstances in which my parents got divorced. I don't remember. I know some of it, but I was pretty young back then. But what I do know is how much the divorce impacted me just growing up and not having my dad in the house for years. Like developmentally,
No cap.
I think just obviously my mom did a
mean,
great job, right? You know, but as a single mom, there's only so much I think she could do. And having my dad in a different state a lot of the time, not having that male presence around really impacted my maturity, number one, my ability to be disciplined, I think. How I interacted with women in a lot of ways, I think, was impacted by not having that positive sort of male role model close in my life, involved in my life. And so I say this to say, like, I've followed the relationship model insofar as that I want to get married at some point. But after seeing how that happened and how that impacted me, that's why I view marriage so important and never want my kids to have to experience that. Like, I want to be in my child's life. As much as humanly possible.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. So I know that it may have came off like, oh, we could be a co-parent today, but I don't feel that way. I just feel like most times when people get in these relationships and they have children out of wedlock, or they're married and they get a divorce, they don't it's the end of the world. They don't want to work towards something better. They don't want to work for the betterment of the child. And so for me, that is the inherent view that I have, that the child is important. You have to put whatever you have aside and make sure that child is in the forefront. It can't be the end of the world for you. You can't hate this person because you created something so beautiful with them. But I do want to be married. I would love to marry my partner in this sense. But I think that my mom, this is something that I'm unlearning. My mom is the black woman. I don't need a man. I pay the bills in here. But my dad would help regardless. He could have a woman, he could have a girlfriend, but he would help towards the household. He would help her if she needed anything. He was her first call. And so I think the way I view dating is that.
My mom left her whole family for men over and over again. So she put a man above all else. That's kind of how I carried myself in primary, like the first relationships I had, I fully poured into them, not myself, because I was like, well, they're gonna take care of me. That's what my mom's doing.
Right. But I also want to know, why does the black community not hold marriage to like
What's
a
really
high
like more?
standard?
We did when we had the most discrimination, racism, and when times were the worst for us back in the civil rights era.
I like the current one
we were
more.
getting married at a much higher rate and staying together than we are now. And so that's why I was asking, like, how did it happen that from 50s and 60s, we ended up here to where things are regressing when things should be theoretically getting better because there's more access?
I think back in those times, it was a necessity. As a woman, being married was almost close to a necessity because of all the things you couldn't do as a woman. I think that's why we have degressed in a sense, and I think that it should be held valuable, but it will never be the necessity that it once was.
Can the disagree step forward?
We grew up with technology and stuff like that, so I've been shaped by so many other things and shows and experiences. I wouldn't say that it would be their relationship has shaped my relationship. I see a lot of issues that I know that I wouldn't want in my relationship if I were to get married. So I can't say that it does, no.
I probably should have agreed because I look at my parents' relationship and I learned like what not to do and what to do.
Right.
Like they raised me out of wedlock. They were never together once I was born. My dad was in my life, but honestly, I love him to death, but he's a piece of shit. Watching from how they were together, I'm doing the total opposite. I have to stick with my partner forever if we're gonna have a kid, no matter what.
Growing up, I have had other father figures, and I'd say even throughout those relationships, my mom has been consistent and she's always been very mindful of who she introduced to me. My mom never argued with anyone in front of me. She never had any disputes. So everything to me in the eyes of a child was perfect. And I feel like that is a very key and beautiful thing that a lot of people need to keep in mind and maintain.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
But I never understood that don't argue in front of the kids thing. Like, people argue, and it depends on how you argue. Like, I don't really argue with people in general. Like, in general, I don't argue. If I say, like, the sky's blue, you say, no, it's yellow. I'll be like, all right, dang. I'm genuinely not, like, I genuinely don't feel the need to have to convince you. Like, I just don't. So I can't argue over nothing. And not to mention, I don't yell or scream when I argue. And I'm not even arguing. I'm just literally telling you what I think. If you don't agree, I'm going to just give up at one point. Like, I'm not going to keep going with you. So, like, if a kid were to see that, I don't think that'd be an issue for me. But if I say, hey, you this, and they get the tripping, I'm like, I don't know. But I've never seen my parents argue in front of me like that, for real. Not like nothing crazy, like, you stupid, man. Like, I've never seen that.
Speaking about parents and dating habits, do you think you all levitate towards individuals who've had this same experience with their parents and the same dating habits? So, for example, if you grew up in a house with a single mom, do you think you levitate towards men who also had a single mom?
In my personal experience,
How do you know that, though?
Especially with my mom having left when I was 16, I've struggled in my romantic relationships with my significant other's mothers every single time. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was me unintentionally gravitating towards men who had a really close relationship with their mom. Like, definitely have found myself struggling in those situations.
Yeah.
Same as you. Maybe we are related.
Where's my dad?
I found that because my parents were screaming a lot of the time.
I
When
got you.
I'm with people whose families are more like happy, I'm like, why are you guys happy? I hate it. How come I can never have this? And I'll self-destruct, I'll crash out. So I really struggle. I think I go for people that have had different experiences to how I was raised, but I tremendously struggle with that.
I think that what we're missing within the Black community is spaces like this. And so now they've created this space, and now this is on the TV of those who want to watch it. So it's up to us to advertise it.
All of our energy should be focused on going towards what our goal is as a community.
Right.
And then all the other extra stuff should just get put to the wayside for a second so we can figure out where it is we want to be and get there together. I think that's kind of what we need to do. And having these conversations is how we figure out what those priorities are.
And there's people that's doing that, but unfortunately, this is just not popular.
Well, it's a mature message, and immaturity is really highlighted today and supported.
Yeah.
So it's a very mature message, and it's going to be niche in an odd way.
But we got to stop highlighting the negativity, or we see something good that's happening in the Black community. Let's share it. Let's spread the message, not just spew hatred.
We can't rely on the media, who's not controlled by Black people mainly, to do the job for us. That has to be something we do together.
We have to take it to them. We have to meet them where they are.
This was good, vid. The whole Black dynamic thing always bothered me though, because I never view myself as like a Black person. I view myself as a person. Like the whole I'm not Black. I'm OJ. That's real. I'm not a Black football player. I'm a football player. Like that's real, bro. Like I'm not. The color of your skin doesn't define you as your person, bro. So like none of this whole like, do Black men and Black women think the same? Like I get that, but bro, like we're just people.